You ever notice how a woman can walk away like she feels nothing? And then months later, out of nowhere, she starts orbiting around your life again? If you've ever wondered why she suddenly misses the man she once dismissed, listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is something most women will never say out loud. Here's the truth men rarely hear. A woman doesn't start missing you when you're gone. She starts missing you when she finally realizes she can't replace what you gave her. And that realization doesn't happen instantly. It happens slowly, like a quiet ache she can't admit to herself, let alone to you. At first, she's confident. She thinks she's walking into something better, something more exciting, something she deserves. She convinces herself that losing you is liberation. She tells her friends she's fine. She posts the I'm glowing pictures. She acts like she's immune to regret. But underneath all that performance is a truth every woman tries to outrun. She doesn't understand your value until she's forced to experience life without it. And it always begins the same way: the silence, your absence, the space where your attention used to be. If she ever took you for granted, that silence becomes a mirror, one she avoids until the reflection becomes too loud to ignore. Suddenly, the little things she overlooked start haunting her. The way you listened without judgment, the stability you brought into moments she didn't even realize were unstable, the reassurance in your voice, the consistency in your presence, the safety she felt when you were around, a safety she assumed she would find again easily. But here's the part most men never get to hear. A woman starts missing you the moment another man fails to give her what you gave effortlessly, not because she wants to use you, but because she realizes she miscalculated. She overestimated her options and underestimated your worth. This is the moment her ego begins to crack. And once it cracks, everything she pushed aside comes rushing back. Memories, emotions, comfort, guilt, curiosity, longing. She replays moments she brushed off. She begins to feel the emotional vacuum your absence created. And that's when the shift happens. The woman who once overlooked you starts quietly grieving the man she didn't appreciate when she had him. If you've ever been taken for granted, let me ask you something. What was the moment you realized she didn't value you? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs this truth. There's a moment every woman faces after losing a good man, a moment she never expects and definitely never prepares for. It doesn't happen when she walks away. It doesn't happen when she blocks your number, posts something dramatic, or convinces herself that she's moving on. No. It happens later, in a quiet moment when no one is watching, when her strength fades just enough for the truth to slip through. And that truth hits harder than anything she expected. She didn't lose a man. She lost her emotional anchor. See, when a woman takes a man for granted, she thinks his love is renewable. She thinks his patience is endless. She thinks his presence is guaranteed. She mistakes your consistency for desperation, your loyalty for dependency, your effort for simplicity. She thinks she understands you, but what she's really doing is projecting. She's assuming you'll always be there because you've always been there. But when a good man finally detaches, that's a type of loss she never trained herself to handle. The first sign she starts missing you is subtle, almost invisible. It's not a text, not a call, not a desperate attempt to reconnect. It's curiosity. A woman who took you for granted will start checking your social media silently. She won't like anything. She won't comment, but she'll watch. She'll look for signs you're hurting, signs you're waiting, signs you're still emotionally available. And when she doesn't find those signs, when she sees you living, growing, staying silent, her heart sinks. Because silence from a man she expected to chase her? That's emotional pressure she didn't expect to feel. The second sign is emotional comparison. Whether she admits it or not, every woman compares. She measures the attention other men give her against the attention you gave naturally. She measures the comfort you offered against the instability she now feels. She measures the emotional bond she once had with you against connections that don't go nearly as deep. This comparison isn't something she welcomes. It's something she tries to fight. But the more she fights it, the stronger it becomes. And finally comes the shift she fears the most: the realization that you were rare. Not because you were perfect, not because you were flawless, but because you were genuine in a world where most people are performing. Before you read on, tell me this. Have you ever gone silent and watched her suddenly notice your worth? Comment below and make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it. A woman doesn't start missing you because she suddenly remembers the good times. That's what she'll claim, but that's not the real trigger. The real trigger is emotional contrast, when life forces her to confront the difference between the man she imagined she could replace and the reality of every man she meets after you. At first, she believes walking away gives her stronger options. She believes freedom will feel empowering. But freedom without emotional safety is just chaos dressed as confidence, and eventually that chaos catches up to her. It starts when the attention she expected doesn't feel the same. At first, new men flatter her, validate her, entertain her, but that attention is shallow, temporary, inconsistent. It feeds her ego, not her soul, and the deeper part of her, whether she admits it or not, starts to crave what only a genuine connection could give. That's when she starts missing you, not because she wants the relationship back, but because she can't replicate the emotional experience you provided. She tries to replace the feeling, not the man. And when the feeling doesn't return, she realizes the man mattered more than she thought. She'll remember the way you didn't judge her when she opened up, the way she felt understood without explaining everything, the comfort of knowing someone cared deeply, even during conflict. You didn't just listen, you saw her, and being seen is something she never realized was so rare until it disappeared. Then comes the moment she hates admitting even to herself. She starts doubting her decision. Not publicly, never publicly. She'll keep the confident facade, but internally she'll replay the breakup, the arguments, the things she said, the things she thought you would forgive forever. And when she realizes you're not coming back, a fear settles in. What if I misjudged the only man who truly cared? That fear grows every time she sees you improving instead of begging, every time she sees your silence becoming strength instead of sadness, every time she sees you building a life that no longer includes her. And here's the truth no woman wants to confess. She starts missing you the moment she sees that you're becoming the man she always hoped you would be, but without her. Before we continue, answer this honestly. Do you think she expected you to chase her forever? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs this message. There's a type of regret that doesn't show up in tears or apologies. It shows up in silence, in hesitation, in that moment when a woman scrolls through her phone, stops on your name, and suddenly realizes she has no right to reach out anymore. That's when she begins to miss you in a way she can't hide, not from herself, and not from the life she thought would be better without you. What she never expected is how heavy emotional accountability feels. Because when a woman takes a good man for granted, she convinces herself that the consequences will be temporary. She thinks you'll wait, that you'll check in, that you'll break the silence eventually. But when you don't, when you finally choose yourself over the history you shared, she's forced to confront something uncomfortable. She wasn't the one in control. Her attention didn't keep you. Her silence didn't break you. Her leaving didn't destroy you. And that realization shakes her. This is the stage where she starts feeling everything she once avoided. The memories she brushed aside begin returning in waves. She remembers the nights you stayed up talking with her when she felt lost. She remembers the times you encouraged her when she doubted herself. She remembers the stability you offered without demanding anything in return. These memories aren't nostalgic, they're grounding. They remind her of the emotional security she thought she'd find again effortlessly. But the most painful part comes when she realizes the connection she abandoned still affects her more than the new connection she's trying to form. She'll laugh with someone else, but it won't feel real. She'll get attention from others, but it won't feel intimate. She'll receive compliments, but they won't feel meaningful, because what she shared with you wasn't casual. It wasn't replaceable. It wasn't something she can recreate by accident. And as she watches you grow, evolve, and move differently, something inside her shifts. She starts to understand that losing you wasn't just a breakup. It was a loss of emotional grounding, a loss of inner comfort, a loss of the one person she didn't think she needed until she no longer had access to him. This is when women start asking themselves the question they fear the most. Did I walk away from the one man who genuinely cared for me? Before you move on, tell me this. If she reached out today, would you still respond? Comment your answer and make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs this perspective. There comes a moment, quiet, unforgiving, and brutally honest, when a woman realizes the man she took for granted has finally outgrown the version of himself she once knew. And this is the moment she begins to miss you in a way that feels like a slow, internal collapse. Not because she suddenly loves you again, not because she's lonely, but because she sees something she never expected. You became the man she always hoped you would be, and you did it without her. What truly breaks her is not your absence, it's your transformation. She expected you to remain stuck in the memory of her. She expected the old version of you, the one who forgave too easily, who gave too much, who stayed too long. But when she sees that you've grown stronger, calmer, more focused, more grounded, it forces her to confront the truth she desperately avoided. She didn't just lose a relationship, she lost a future. And she starts to feel it everywhere. She hears it in the way your name no longer belongs to her stories. She sees it in the way you carry yourself, more confident, more self-assured, less attached to the past. She feels it when she realizes you're no longer emotionally available for her to return to. That door used to be open. She assumed it would always stay open. But now it's closed, and locked, and guarded by a version of you she helped create by walking away. What makes her miss you the most is the realization that you didn't become bitter. You became better. You didn't get stuck in resentment. You elevated. You didn't waste time proving your worth to her. You started living your worth without needing her validation. And that is something no woman forgets. Because when a man rises after heartbreak, when he rebuilds himself, when he reconnects with his ambition, his discipline, his purpose, he becomes the kind of man who commands emotional gravity. She feels that gravity even from a distance. She feels it when she tries to date again. She feels it when she's alone at night replaying memories. She feels it when she realizes every man she meets now must compete with the stronger version of you she unintentionally created. And the truth? She begins missing you the moment she realizes she could have grown with you, but instead she forced you to grow without her. Let me ask you something personal. If the strongest version of you met the version of her that left, who would walk away this time? Answer in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a man who needs to hear this today.